I want to look at a book which was given to us by John and Miguel Hayworth, and you can see the book there. Miguel gave it to us, I think, probably about 2 months ago. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask James. It's actually sat on my shelf, and the reason it sat there because I couldn't find any enthusiasm or any interest to look through it. But I have looked through it, and apart from this gentleman here, Graham Leonard, who was the Bishop of London, who converted really when I was in the Catholic back in the 90s, and Anne Widdicombe, whose brother is a canon, high-flying canon in the Church of England. I hadn't heard of any of the rest of the people at all. But basically it's their journey from a safe religious system into another religious system, that of Rome. And I think what struck me really was that I'd say that probably most of them, what I call intellectual searchers, searching for a truth and so forth. I'm always a bit worried about when people say, well, I'm intellectual, I'm searching for the truth. I forget who said it, but somebody said when I hear that I reach my revolver. Not that I'm advocating that at all, but I can see where they're coming from. But we as born-again Christians would say, ye shall seek the truth, and the truth will set you free. And of course, that's from John's Gospel 8:12. Most of these people, the men particularly, were ordained in the Church of England. And all I say had this Oxford connection. And to our American friends, Oxford and Cambridge are the two elitist universities in our country, a bit like your Harvard and Yale, and possibly Columbia. I think what I found depressing about it, most of them seem to get caught up with the whole transubstantiation package, the vestments and the dressing up and the holding up and so forth. Transubstantiation, as you know, was brought in by Pope, I think it was Innocent III in 1215, so it's a fairly new idea that the body of Christ becomes fit for cannibals to eat and so forth. But it seemed that most of these people made the decisions when the Anglican Synod agreed to the ordination of women priests. Now, whether that was the main issue or not, I don't know, but it was certainly the match which struck the flame for an exodus of all these people. And don't forget, there was a very good financial package as well. If you were married, you had children at school, the new Catholic Church, whatever diocese you're going into, would pay the church fees and so forth. And I suspect probably index-linked pensions and so forth. But I found it very sad that most of these people from the Anglican Church thought they would find contentment and spiritual satisfaction in the Church of Rome, and they won't, and they never will, and I'll come to that in a minute. Now, one of the people that mentioned here was from the Brethren. Always very interested in the Brethren because we have known some Brethren in the past, and we always find it appealing, their method of worship. And he says here, Brethren like to think of themselves, quote, as serious Christians. Other Brethren terms divided humanity into the saved and the unsaved, and distinguished themselves from other Christians as believers, the rest being merely nominal Christians, backsliders, sort of words that James would use in many of his wonderful talks when he does looks at Calvinism and Brethrenism and so forth. I thought that was interesting, and it must have hurt his parents very much when he went to university, as so many of them did. Terrible places to get into because the whole road to ruin is open up there, and he drifted into Church of England later to go into the Catholic Church. Now, what about this trip to Rome? Is everybody doing it? Well, Quinton Letts, in February the 27th, the Daily Mail, excuse the scribbling on the top, tells me here, on average, he says, 6 Roman Catholic priests a year join the Church of England, considering ungentlemanly to gloat. Last year, the Anglican Diocese of London ordained more new clergy than Roman Catholic Church, managed in the whole of France. So let's keep things in perspective. And if you remember that one of the sayings about France is that it is the eldest daughter of the church. There you can see it there. Religion is what you gloat over. Being born again is what you glorify in. And if you're born again, you have found the truth. You won't find it for intellectualism. The road to Rome, I would say, is really the highway to hell and so forth. So what's happening here? Well, our friends in America, you might think it's nothing to do with you. This appeared in one of the papers this week. US Anglicans converting en masse to Catholicism. Can you see that there? 100 traditional Anglican parishes across the United States have decided to convert. And one of the mentions here was a very good package coming up. There's always money there, isn't there? Always financial. What is it? Money is the root of all evil. And even in the last paragraph it tells me that Australia is having the same thing happening to them there. So I thought that was interesting. I would say to all of these people, if you're watching this on YouTube, be careful, because you're going to a system where there's secrecy, deceit, lies and cover-ups. What am I talking about? The ongoing problem with clergy abuse. It's still going on. This week, one of the German dioceses, where Cardinal Ratzinger was the Archbishop, Munich, 20 years ago, has been accused of a horrific sexual cover-up. He blames the Vicar General, as his number 2, for doing it. But this is happening in France, in Portugal, and in Germany, and in Ireland. Nothing much seems to have happened to England at the moment, but I suspect there will a few more cases will come out of the woodwork. Ratzinger, when he was the secretary of the Holy Office and so forth, was instrumental in covering up for many of these people, building safe houses, laying on accommodation, laying on money and so forth. Absolute scandal. Should have gone to prison years ago. This isn't the true Church of Christ at all. This is a fake church. And all of you people who've gone into it, you need to get out of it. All of you, you've got to get out of it. The Bible informs you of that. In fact, the Bible commands you to get out of it. And to my dear friend Dan, who are watching us, and if you're still in there, get out of it, Dan. Now this man's coming to England soon. We're going to be down there demonstrating against Pope Benedict XV, aka Joseph Ratzinger. So there we are, Benedict XVI, of course, not the 15th. So if you're still in the system, get out of it. The whole thing's going to be taken over by the Antichrist when he comes. The ecumenical movement is still there. Buffeted this way, buffeted that way. But all I'd say to these people, be very, very careful. And if you are going to convert, keep out of religion. It can't save you. None of these religions can save you at all. You need to be born again. You need to get on your knees and come to the cross. At the moment, the Catholic Church is riding high, but it's coming to a fall. More and more of these abuse victims are speaking out. Even today, the Cardinal in Northern Ireland, Cardinal Sean Brady, has been called upon to resign. And why not? Because he was involved in the cover-up in the 70s. So there we are. I thank our friends John and Miguel for this book. Very, very interesting book. I will be returning it to them. The Path to Rome? I don't think so. More likely the wide path that takes many to total destruction. Get out of there. So from this ministry, from this book, The Road to Rome, Maranatha, and thank you.